forms may be the same as 1,000 years ago, but the context in which the forms are reproduced today, right, is a very important modern context. That's what I'm saying. So if we were to go to a situation like this and build, steel and glass houses that look like the work done by the 20 under 45s in Singapore, I think it's a travesty. Just as it's a travesty for young architects to go to Bali and build those kind of buildings. It's an insult to the Balinese people. Somebody said I shouldn't scold people, but So then what is the future of the city? To be only 5 things. To be the place for the highest level of medical research and treatment. Of course, you can't have cancer research in the village. To be the center for the highest level of academic research and teaching. Sure, we can distribute some of the teaching institutions. We can have rural studios, we can have rural whatever, but aggregating smart people together is still a must. Highest level of finance and strategy, of course. Highest level of the arts. You can't have it without the kind of the term which I learned from Peng Wat is you must have the community of strangers in order to have the kind of unexpected interactions and unexpected stimulus that strangers provide. But you must be able to deal with strangers. And the highest level of manufactured goods and wholesale goods. You must. You can't have that but all the rest, all the small manufacturing light industries can be distributed completely. Internet, make sure. Plus good roads, transportation system. Right? So my view of Singapore's role is to be the learning, the facilitation, innovation center, eco-sustainable for the eco-sustainable living of the region. That's our role. Right now it's just a kind of a sheriff's deputy. So the following are the technologies and attitudes that need to be brought about through policy, through design, and through lifestyle. Okay? Some of the key technologies. It's not just physical, geometrical design, right? But we need to understand morphology. Right? 1967, Idle March and Martin drew attention to morphology, but few architects and planners paid attention. The book was published in 1976. It's in our library, only 2 people read it. Me and my student. And this is very interesting. This is Midtown Manhattan, okay? Rockefeller Center. March did the computation of this whole area. The average height is 25 stories. Okay? And then he quantified the total floor area and redesigned it in terms of these little squares, okay? Perimeter blocks. And the average height is 7 stories. So somebody goofed, right? So morphology is a critical intelligent design tool which unfortunately not taught in the architectural school. We don't teach morphology. We teach typology. What is typology? Typology is doing what has been done before. So if there was an error before, we repeat it. That's typology. Morphology is to look at form fundamentally. What is the relationship between built area and land area? Okay. For example, in this case, each of these squares is the size of a football field. I mean, not to say that you should have football fields in the middle of Manhattan. How many there? I don't know. 20. But it is possible. Okay. So morphological thinking would have created a very different kind of Singapore. So I did a test with my first year students. We did this. We took the same land area, we changed the shape of the island, made it more or less rectangular. What would happen if we put 200 Ruben settlements with 25,000 people per settlement? First of all, the buildings will only be 4-story high. Okay? And then in between the buildings would be vegetable farms. So we calculated the total number of output. We can be totally self-sufficient with vegetables. And the most striking thing is that the central catchment area would be double the size of its present one. And the total amount of reservoir area would be double the present reservoirs. So what's happening? Morphological screw up, right? So then we tested. Oh, okay, then let me go back one step. So how does it work? It's very simple. This is the highway, right? So category 1 highway is always sandwiched by 4, that means 8 urban settlements, right? So the distance is 2 kilometers to get to the highway, 2 kilometers to get to the highway. Pretty near, right? So within the urban settlement is category 2 road. Category 1 is the highway, right? So along category 1 highway we did this. So these are robotic buses that can link up. Okay, they are electromagnetic connectors, right? You use your mobile phone, you call up the technology is available. We should do it. Use a mobile phone, call up the computer, says I want to go here or there, and the reply will be, we'll pick you up at your bus stop in 20 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. And then the bus train is cruising along the category 1 highway. It breaks off, picks you up, comes back, joins it, goes on. Okay, as simple as that. So we should do this for NUS campus. We should do this for Sentosa. Why are we doing it? What's happened to our thinking? Because it hasn't been done, you see. Educational technology. Of course, we have fantastic schools in Singapore. And we are producing fantastic people who are fantastic exam smart. But are they really smart? Let me show you this example. I work with Michai, and we built an experimental school in Thailand. This is the school. This is the secondary school. This is the primary school. This is the community center. This is all farmland. Eventually, this will be the center of the city, of the village, and the surrounding will be surrounded by a urban settlement. Okay? We are building this dome out of bamboo with 30 meters in diameter. It's under construction, and the workers are absolutely frightened. John Kett will have something to say about domes. So that's a dome. The children, these are 10-year-olds from the primary school, now they're moving to the secondary school, right? These 10-year-olds run a radio program every day between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. They tell stories and they repeat their lessons to other schools. These are 10-year-olds who are empowered to become teachers, right? The community center that I mentioned, this community center, which was financed by Lian Aid, or Lian Foundation in Singapore, right? We built the radio station there, and the kids run the radio station. This is empowerment. Can we do that in Singapore? The kids this is 450 kilometers in the boondocks in Thailand, and they are connected to internet by satellite. But now they have a direct link, so it's much faster. They have broadband. This is the school. It's all built in bamboo, very cheap. This is the teacher's room. We went to Bali, the whole team went down to Bali to learn bamboo technology. So now Balinese bamboo technology is now part of Thailand. That's how it works. And this is the incredible tree that I discovered there. It's the Polonia, which is the fastest growing tree in the world. It's a tropical hardwood. This is the tree that will save the rainforest, because it replaces the need to go and cut rainforests, right? Because it's fast, 4 years. 4 years you can cut the tree this size. That's Professor Ito, who's an expert on Polonia, who I am involved with in the Sukabumi project. Right? He's been given 1 million hectares by Indonesian government to plant Polonia. And he told me that IKEA said to him that they would buy any amount you can produce. Because IKEA is trying to cut off the Russian supplier, fine. So what kind of architecture? Do we need to have straight lines? I don't think so. We can use old tree trunks and build buildings, something like that. Why not? We need to explore new architecture. Why do we have to stick to industrial architecture? We don't need to. This is a project which I worked with my fourth-year students some years ago. This is Tay Kheng Soon, who is the perm sec of Ministry of Environment, and he came to visit the project. This is a shape of a 20-foot container. By the way, she is the daughter of our Prime Minister. The house generates its own electricity, solar panels on the roof. The students calculated the entire energy cycle. The bedroom, for example, is not air conditioned, but the bed is air conditioned. So it's cut down a lot of energy. All the lights are LED. This is long before LED became popular in Singapore. The water is collected and recycled and purified. The sewage is completely recycled into the environment and so on. So if you can have an autonomous house, you can have an autonomous building, just aggregate it. If you can have an autonomous building, you can have an autonomous city. Therefore, theoretically, eco-city is zero carbon. So why aren't we doing it? So we need to collect the shit. That's the reason why we need to aggregate population. The spread out population it's not advantageous. Not advantageous for a whole series of reasons. One, children have to walk long distances to school. Not good. So you have lousy schools. The shit gets scattered all over the place. Right? Shit is a great resource. Why? This is the guy I work with, right? He's a scientist. He's a serial inventor. He's invented a lot of stuff, and he's got hundreds of, not hundreds, but a lot of patents after his name and improvements. This is the 2 megawatt electric power from 1 hectare